easily become one of my favorite types of videos to make because I get stuff done. As seems to be kind of the theme, I have 2 knit projects and I have 1.5 crochet projects. The rib lace raglan, I knit this too small, and it just means that the neckline is incredibly small, way smaller than I expected. And also the neckline is pretty raw. There's no ribbing on here or anything. And if I were to do this again, I would knit it in a bigger size and I would do just a small 1-inch rib neckline around all of it. The other thing I need to do is actually fixing the bottom. So I bound off the bottom and I did it too tight. I'll try it on again, but I still think it's too tight, and so I'm gonna need to undo it, redo the bottom so that it's a little bit stretchier of a bind off, and then I need to figure out the sleeves. I have not yet decided if I want this to be a short sleeve or a long sleeve top. Another one that is not easy to show you, I may have to stand up for this one, is my campsite waffle cardigan. It is so close to being done. All I have to do is the button band all around, and I'm not even doing buttons, so it's just adding ribbing all the way around, which is admittedly 9 feet of me knitting ribbing back and forth, so I'm not looking forward to it. It'll be my first time doing something like that, so tensioning it might take a couple tries. Fingers crossed. I can't show the whole thing in one shot, but just look at this bad boy. This is crazy. That I did this is crazy. It is my first time doing a long project when I didn't have to do a long project. I wasn't even intending for this to be a long project, and I love it. I cannot wait to do another really lengthy project because, oh my gosh, I'm not even done and I feel satisfied with myself on this. I'm proud of myself that I did something this big, and I can't wait to show you how it looks on because I just know it's going to be so freaking cute. And the last one is finishing up this toilet paper basket. It's done. I just haven't taken the yarn off yet and like weaved in the single end. And I just have these balls of cotton in here. That was a lot longer of an intro than I was expecting. We will see you tomorrow. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta pick up your black cat when you're wearing a white shirt so that the fur can get all over the toilet paper. That's a smart choice that I made for a silly little bit. So I'm going to talk about this, but real quick, I'm not injured. I just got a tattoo like an hour ago and it still really hurts and I'm waiting for the ibuprofen to kick in. For anyone that's curious, outside of the arm, painless. I kept a straight face the entire appointment. Inside of the arm, yikes. So I was really motivated when I was working on this and enjoying every second, and then I just hit a wall. It's time to jump over that wall because I'm so close to being done. So there are 3 things I'm pretty sure that I want to address. Number 1, this neckline is real tight. Ow! Ow. This is so unnecessary. Why did I do this? So the neckline is really high up and it's a really raw edge. Here is what the raw edge looks like before I go ahead and peel it back. It's not as polished as I would like. And it's just a personal preference. It is not a dig on the pattern. The pattern is fantastic. And I've just been lamenting the fact that I didn't start making a bigger size and eventually landed on the I'm an idiot idea of sweater surgery. So that covers the neckline. And then I was so undecided on if I wanted this to be short sleeve or long sleeve. And I came to a decision today. I just got this tattoo, so when it heals up, I'm gonna wanna show it off. So I think I'll just add a little bit of ribbing around here and that'll be perfect. And then the last thing I need to do is the bottom. When I cast off the bottom, I just cast it off in pattern and it's just too tight. It doesn't stretch out at all like it should. Oh, I should have marked it out when I was wearing it. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on, mark it off where I want to peel back to so that I know where to add the ribbing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is where I want to go back to. This strategy is so much worse. Why did I do this? I am too lazy to set the tripod up right now, so I'm just going to show you here. I got a whole setup going on my lap right now. There might be a better way to do this, but the rib lace just makes this so difficult. Like, if it was just a stockinette sweater, I could absolutely do this better, but I have no better strategy. So here's what I'm doing. This is the whole neck opening, and then this is the part so far that I have separated, and I'm just putting on stitch markers here to hold the edge here together so that it doesn't unravel and like make an entire mess while I'm trying to do this. But what I did was I cut the yarn on the row above what you currently see on the needle just in one spot, and then I've been like picking and unraveling it through each stitch, and it's just very tedious. So this may not be the best way to do it, but it is working. I have beheaded the sweater, and now I think I'm just going to go right into knitting the rib stitch. So my cast on was a little bit of a mess. I think what I'm going to do is just set this down and come back to it tomorrow. Setback number 1, the collar's way too small. So I really don't want to pick up my stitches again. So I'm going to unravel to the first row I did of the ribbing and then reverse knit to get it onto my needles. Okay, I unraveled back to where I originally picked up stitches, and here's what I'm going to do. The rib stitch for this has a knit stitch paired with a yarn over. So before, when I went to do the ribbing, I was knitting the yarn over and the knit stitch together, and this time I'm going to do them separately. Fingers crossed it works out. It worked out! I tried it on. It fit great. So I binded it off, and the neckline is done. We still have a lot to do on this piece, but the neckline is done. I don't really feel like tackling the sleeves right now, so I think instead what I'm going to do is work on the bottom. So when I was trying this on for the collar, I also put a stitch marker of where I want to go back to on the bottom. So if you remember what I was saying earlier, the bottom, when I did the bind off for this, I did not do a stretchy bind off, and it is toy. So what I want to do is peel back to the green stitch marker here and then do 1x1 ribbing like I did up top and just have ribbing all over. I'm wondering if I can unravel the bottom or if I'm gonna have to cut it, which is kind of annoying, but not as annoying as like unsewing something. Ooh, I'll be able to unravel it. Yes!
If only I could finish something, run straight through to the end, close a chapter dignified. Damn girl, you did it again. But will it ever be enough when I'm bent on trying to keep it tough? Will I ever settle down, happy with the here and now? When will it ever be enough? Ever be enough? Ever be enough?
Okay, we're making crazy good progress on this. The collar's done, the bottom ribbing is done, and now all I gotta do are the sleeves. I think what I'm gonna do for the sleeves is continuing the stitch pattern from the body for about 1 inch and then switching and just doing like 1 inch of ribbing to bind off. Last night I went to a friend's house and we watched Ice Princess, a movie that I had not seen since I was a kid, and I was worried that I was gonna find it really cringy watching it as an adult, but it still holds up. My friend had never seen it before and she loved it. And while we were watching the movie, I started on the sleeve and then finished it, and then I started on the other sleeve and finished it, so I just finished it. I love it, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like on. Just look at this. Look at it in all of its glory, man. It's fantastic. I'm gonna be living in this summer, I can already tell. And oh, I haven't shown you yet, but this is the tattoo I got. And I love that it's thin because I feel like I can wear it with cardigans, and this doesn't feel bulky to me at all. It feels very comfortable. 10 out of 10, absolutely love how this came out. This is probably gonna be one of my favorite knits of the year. I love how versatile this top is. I love that it looks really cute in my opinion. Just with sweatpants, but it also looks cute with shorts in a more styled summer look. And I can also do like a farmer's market vibe. I can also wear it to work and dress it up and make it look really nice. I think this top makes a lot of sense for me to wear in the spring and the fall especially. I think is when I'll get the most wear out of it. And I think it would work in the summer, but we'll see how well it washes before I decide how much I want to wear it on days when it's really hot outside. Nope. Gotta take a shower. I can't. I gotta take a shower. I feel so much better. I feel like with certain projects, I will drive through them so aggressively until I reach a stopping point where I have to put in just a tiny bit of effort. And for some reason, that tiny bit of effort makes me not want to pick it up. But this one's so close to being done. Like, honestly, so close to being done. I feel like I could finish this in a couple of days. I don't know how long it's going to take to complete like a 9-foot button band, but we'll see. It's also a buttonless button band, which will make it a little easier. I should just do the math. I'm procrastinating already. Again. Okay, math it up. What do I need to do for math? So math-wise, I think what I need to do is measure stitches per inch on this ribbing section that I have, and then also measure stitches per inch vertically along where I'll be picking it up so that I can figure out the ratio of how often I need to pick up stitches. Hopefully it's like a nice round, easy number. I doubt it will be, but we can hope. I think I just need to lay this out completely flat on the floor. Yes, 1-to-1 ratio. Do you know what else is a 1-to-1 ratio? The ratio of cats to humans in our household. So because it's 1-to-1, that just makes everything so much easier. It just means for every single stitch I see on a single column, I just pick up 1 stitch for every single row the whole way through. Fingers crossed it actually works out, because I know when things stretch out, when you go to block things, it can turn out a little different. That's another reason I've been procrastinating on this, is because it's really hard to motivate to do something that you know you might have to redo. Okay, so you can see where I'm picking up the new stitches are on the line here. And then this is like the little seam. I don't think that's too thick. I think that'll be fine. Okay, it has been half an hour and I've got almost exactly 1/2 done. My fingers hurt. I'm thinking if I could dedicate like 6 hours to this, then I could have everything done, including binding it off, because that's gonna take a long time too. I gotta wake up. Buenos dias, es mañana, and I'm gonna work on this cardigan today. This would be easier with a crochet hook at this point, I think, but I can't be bothered to grab a crochet hook. Oh yeah, so I went and saw If yesterday, the imaginary friend movie. Anyone is welcome to disagree because we all have different tastes in movies and are looking for different things. I, however, would give it 3 stars. It was one of those movies that was made for kids, and it was made for kids. I would personally recommend it to people that have young kids. I think they would like it, but I don't think I would tell any of my adult friends without kids to go see it. Like, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't as good as it could have been with just a couple of tweaks. Also, something else that might be impacting it is I never had imaginary friends as a kid. Me and my husband were talking about this on our way out of the theater. He said he never had any either, and I was like, yeah, it's because we both had siblings growing up. We didn't have room for imaginary friends in our lives. I think I would have liked one. Did you have any imaginary friends growing up? And did you have siblings? Like, do you think that that's a factor at all, or are we just making a correlation that's not true? I would love to see some data, some statistics on the types of children that have imaginary friends. Because I also didn't have a lot of friends as a kid either, so it's not like, oh, you were just a social butterfly, so you didn't need one, little Miss Popular. I was not. I leave a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man. I kind of wish I could paint this room. Why am I still recording? You did not need to watch me do this. I feel like I used to be really good at whistling. I did it. That took so long. It took like 1.5 hours. Maybe that's not that long. It felt like a long time. I'm gonna really hope that the tension and gauge work. I'm gonna be really sad if I have to unravel this. I should have known better, and now it's 3 hours of my life I will never get back because I cut a corner. Usually, when you're picking up stitches along a vertical and you're gonna work horizontal, the pickup ratio will include skipping stitches on the vertical, which means I would pick up 4, skip 1, pick up 3, skip 1, or something along those lines. So the horizontal part that I'm working on is stretching out to be much larger than the vertical, which means if I were to complete this, that the button band all along would have almost a rippling wavy effect because it's much larger than it should be. My gut was telling me that a 1-to-1 was wrong, but I was so excited about the ease of it that I just didn't listen. So my plan is to completely unravel what I've done so far and swatch a small section of the ribbing with a different pickup ratio and seeing what that does. I might also switch to a smaller needle size. Pro tip, Well, maybe the word pro is a little strong. Intermediate tip. When I'm unraveling something really long, I try to fold it in on itself so that I'm not unraveling over a long thing. And that way it's all just coming from like a contained source when I'm unraveling, which just makes things a lot easier. Okay, after like too much trial and error, I figured out a needle size and ratio that works, or I hope will work. So I'm gonna use 4.5 millimeter needles. And when I go to cast on, I'll pick up 4, skip 1, pick up 4, skip 1. And let's just hope for me that that works out, because I don't want to do this again. The second attempt has gone so much better, and you have no idea how happy I am to be saying that. I started this project in September of last year, and I was really worried that this was going to be an over year-long project, and I am thrilled to say, for now, not quite done yet, that I think I'm going to finish it in under a year. I think it's an important note for people out there that are concerned that they don't finish projects very fast, because if you are on knitting or crochet YouTube or social media, to me at least, it feels like some people especially just crank out projects so quickly. And I'm like, how? How do you have the time? How do your fingers move that fast? It doesn't compute. And I think it's important to know that, you know, a lot of us, it takes a year to finish a project. Now comes the truly hard part, which is doing a 9-foot Italian bind off. How do I even estimate the amount of yarn I'm gonna need for that? If you don't know, an Italian bind off is a bind off method recommended for when you're doing ribbing. And you have to cut the yarn and then sew it through. So you have to accurately guess how much yarn you're gonna need. And using this much yarn, every time I like sew through a stitch, I'm gonna have to pull up like 20 feet of yarn. So I'm just gonna really overestimate here. And I know that that's just gonna make more work for myself, but it's better than me playing yarn chicken while doing this. I'm gonna cut the yarn. Now, it's not the end of the world if I run out of yarn. It's just kind of annoying. Honestly, I feel like this is going to take me over 2 hours to complete, but this timer only goes up to an hour. So we're going to do it 1 hour at a time and see how much I can progress in 1 hour. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40, 50, 1 hour. Okay, I just finished weaving in all the ends and it has been 2 hours. My legs are numb, my energy is low, and Pippin is unhappy. Point is, this is completed and I am now very tired. So when I have more energy, then I shall try it on for you so we can fashion show it up. Okay, this, look at, do you see it? Like, yeah, right? I love the pattern, especially this, like the stitch pattern. This is the reason why I got the pattern, and obviously I was so inspired by the color that she used in her sample. But I did make several changes, so I think the most obvious of those changes is I did this as a full-length cardigan instead of a mid-length cardigan. I also changed the construction quite a bit just because I wanted a more boxier fit, so in the pattern she did the front panels separately from the back panel and sewed those together. And there was some shoulder shaping going on. I completely negated all of that. I did the back panel and the front panel continuously, so there was no seaming involved with that. And then I also added slits on the sides. I also did my own thing with the sleeves, so I added decreases in here just so that they could be a little bit more fitted. It fits perfectly. It fits exactly how I want it to fit right now. I'm just walking away from this video with 2 very versatile pieces in my wardrobe that I am so excited to play around with. I think I'm gonna get the most wear out of this in the autumn, because I feel like I get such strong autumnal vibes coming from this sweater. Because it's cotton, I'm definitely gonna wear it year round. I feel like I can also really rock this in the summer at night with like a pair of shorts. I would definitely just wear it out and about with a pair of jeans. Easy. I love that it matches the tank top that I already own, which just makes like styling it so easy, because if you know me, I love matching outfits. I love monochrome looks, especially. I also feel like I could potentially dress this up a little bit with just a simple slip dress. I can't stop smiling. The last project is finishing up this toilet paper basket. The yarn I've used is still attached, and I've been actively using this as a toilet paper basket for the past 6 weeks. And I wanted to use it a little bit before deciding if I should finish it or not, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to add handles, if I wanted it to be taller. And oftentimes when I struggle with making a design decision, I find that it's best to use, wear, whatever the piece that I'm working on, and then decide from there if it's worth it for me to change or fix anything. And in this case, I decided I didn't want to change anything. My big debate was potentially adding handles, but I decided that I didn't really want to do that. I just realized if I were to add handles to this, it would be completely decorative, not functional at all, because I don't pick this up and move it. It sits in the same spot. It's so big on the shelf that it's currently stored on. The handles would just make it bigger, and it just does not need to have a bigger presence than it already has. I came to that decision pretty quickly after finishing this, and then it was just a matter of like not being lazy and just finishing it up, because as you can see, that took about 30 seconds of my life. Now it's done. The fastest, and therefore my favorite project of the video.